Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Dude's Brunch, your late night morning talk show. I'm your host, Taylor Olmstead, and with me to talk about breakfast food and the internet and alt facts and Smash Mouth, it's Tyler Reed. Tyler, have you recovered?
Hey, kids. Short answer, no. Well, yes, no, but no, I haven't recovered. I'm still.
Would you say you're still broken inside?
That's not related to 3 Doors Down at all.
That's right.
That is related.
If you didn't listen to last week's show, I supremely trolled Tyler by playing him video that made it seem like 3 Doors Down played All Star by Smash Mouth at the inauguration concert. I also edited out of the show the part where I admitted that video was fake. So if you believed that last week, get trolled. Tyler, what did you have for brunch?
Had a real casual one today. Just had some Holtman's donuts and iced coffee. Pretty simple.
Sounds delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Sean, you're there in the belly of the beast. Are they still serving brunch there, or is everybody too busy burning their possessions for warmth?
No. Brunch is still alive and well in this place. I actually ran by a bunch of people this morning who were sitting inside and eating their brunch, looking at me running by. So, yeah.
You would think that since brunch is the meal of the bourgeoisie, that it would just be canceled forever in DC. But
make America brunch again. That's what I say. Did you eat anything today, Sean?
Yeah, I had a quiche.
Nice. That sounds delicious.
We made 2 quiches last week or earlier this week or something. I don't know, sometime. So I had a quarter of a pie of quiche. And then I came home and had another quarter of a pie of quiche.
Is it a quarter of a pie of quiche, or is it just a quarter of quiche?
It would be a quarter of a pie of quiche.
The more you know.
This is called ratios, bro. Ratio it.
I don't believe in ratios. I believe in alt fractions.
A better line would have been, I don't see ratios.
That's true. That would have been a better line. This is why you're the political correspondent and I'm not. Well, I'm your host, Taylor, and for brunch this morning, I repeated my brunch from last week because I liked it so much. Some toast and a fried egg and some beans because I'm on that British tip.
also, you probably aren't going to use them for anything else.
Yeah, that's true. This was the last of the leftover British baked beans, and so now I'm done with that phase of my life that lasted about a week.
Bye, beans.
Goodbye.
Well, they'll be back.
All right, well, let's jump into some follow-up. So we already alluded to it before, but I did troll Tyler immensely with the All-Star by Smash Mouth, except it's at Trump's inauguration and Trump sings along. I guess you could say he got trolled bigly. It was pretty rewarding, not gonna lie.
Taylor, I don't understand any of the words you've said in this entire podcast. What's going on?
You know, that's just because you're a special snowflake and you just don't understand the patriotic truth.
You're my special snowflake.
You got me.
In other political commentary news, this week we've had tons of amazing political satire accounts pop up on Twitter, including Alt National Parks, Alt NASA, Trump Cake, which is tweets that Trump would write if he were a cake. It's amazing. Hashtag Make America Cake Again. There's also at Half Onion in a Bag, which is just a half of an onion in a Ziploc bag that's trying to get more followers than Trump.
How many followers? Hold on, I want to see what the follower update is right now.
Get live follower update.
Almost 750,000.
As of January 29th at 8:51 p.m. Eastern. Also, there's at Punched to Music, which is the footage of the alt-right spokesperson getting punched in the face set to various songs, like Death Grips. The Death Grips one is my favorite. There are a bunch of them, though. I highly recommend it.
I was like going through it, and I'm surprised that nobody did Wrecking Ball. I think that one should have been.
That would
No,
be
that's what I
perfect.
mean. It should be up there like number 1.
Yeah, that should be like the top one.
Let's go make that real quick. You came in like a wrecking. Tyler, did you see any of these?
You know, guys, I really wanted to work. Eventually, want to get into Gimlet and see if I can get a spot on Reply All. But you know what? I'm just not hip on the Twitter. I guess I'm just never gonna make the cut.
I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
Reply All did do a really cool episode this week, though, about a guy who bears some shocking resemblances to President Trump, except he was a medical huckster in the 1800s. We'll link to that in the show notes. Definitely worth a listen. A little bit of short Apple news follow-up. Everybody on the Tech Podcast has been talking about this article that was written by one of the guys at Studio Neat, who design iOS accessories. Can't remember the guy's name off the top of my head. But he did some math based on the sizes of the various iPads, and he thinks that the new iPad that gets launched this year might be 10.5 inches instead of 9.7. And so it'll be a new iPad Pro that'll essentially be the size of two iPad minis sat next to each other. So it's like the current iPad Pro, but exactly the size of two iPad minis. Which is a lot more compelling to me because the current iPad Pro is fucking massive and I don't want to carry that thing around.
How big is it again?
12 something, maybe 12.9. So almost MacBook Pro size.
Sounds about right.
It's.
I don't know.
Do I want to hold my screen? That'd probably be all right. Sorry.
I don't know. It's just exciting to hear like Apple kind of thinking about physical devices again, as opposed to last year where all the devices came out and they all looked exactly the same as they did the year before. A little bit of change would be nice. Even if it's just changing the size by like half an inch.
There's no need for change.
That being said, wouldn't it be nice to be able to have a case that works for more than one season? But I mean, I'm sure they make lots of money off printing new cases, and I'm sure those companies that print them would be very, very mad if they were literally the same size and have to make new ones.
So our main topic this week is actually kind of an interesting piece of follow-up. Last week in Internet Garbage, we talked about music memes, and I name-checked Neil Cicierega, and now we're going to talk about his new album, which surprisingly dropped between our two episodes. So if you're not familiar, Neil Cicierega is an internet creative person. I would say he's best known probably for Potter Puppet Pals, but he also created a lot of early Flash videos like The Ultimate Showdown of Ultimate Destiny. He also makes music under the pseudonym Lemon Demon, and he's been doing this project since 2014. These albums called Mouth whatever, it's like called the Mouth Trilogy essentially. And there's Mouth Sounds, which is a mixtape where almost every song contains some sort of sample of Smash Mouth's All-Star. Then there's Mouth Silence, which is a mixtape that exists in an alternate universe where Smash Mouth isn't a thing. And this year, we get Mouth Moods, a strange middle ground where there's Smash Mouth, but there's also lots of bare naked ladies. And so I sent this mixtape around to everybody in the Slack because I have been obsessed with it all week long, and I wanted to see what you guys think. So, initial impressions on Mouth Moods?
I mean, right out the gate, I kind of wanted to throw up because that first track is pretty hard on the memes. You're like, oh god, what the fuck am I listening to? But I mean, after that initial like punch in the fucking face, you're like, oh okay. As someone that got really into girl talk after you made us listen to that, this is the kind of thing that's kind of like right up my alley when I'm kind of just want to like just throw something on. And I think this one was pretty good. I counted all the tracks, and I actually had a little bit more that I wasn't like in love with, but the ones I did like, I think I liked a lot.
Sean?
It was okay. This is not my preferred listening to music in general, but in terms of what you said and it being like music memes, I totally agree. But yeah, I actually didn't download it because I was like, I can't imagine ever listening to this again.
It is certainly an acquired taste. For those who have never listened to Neil's work, he basically takes music from the 90s through the 2000s and chops them up and cuts them together and makes them into simultaneously like well-crafted songs and extremely uncomfortable sonic collages. So the first track that Tyler was mentioning, the starting line, is the starting lines of like 8 different songs just played over top of each other. And so it starts with the opening to Bare Naked Ladies 1 Week, and then it adds in All-Star Smash Mouth, or Smash Mouth's All-Star, and then you get a little bit of Bullet with Butterfly Wings by Smashing Pumpkins, and then you get some The Best of You by Foo Fighters.
Story of a Girl, come on.
Story of a Girl. And,
Story of a Girl.
what else is in there? This Is How We Do It by NSYNC. Like, there's just lots of 90s songs just played on top of each other ad nauseum for 3.5 minutes. And that sets a pretty good tone for where this tape is going. It has this thing that Neil has started doing where there are some songs that are just sonic collages of like weird samples, and then there are some that are one song on top of another song in a way that is kind of confusing and weird. And so I'm curious for you guys, which ones did you find more interesting? The collage ones or like the more traditional mashups?
Well, the first one that really stuck out to me, starting from the top, was ACDC, which is 1,000 Miles and Back in Black. I felt like that was...
Words cannot express how surprised I was when that happened. So the way these albums usually work is there's a 50-minute SoundCloud stream on Neil's website, and then you can download the album in individual tracks. And so I just listened to the full stream first and didn't realize what was coming. And so that piano part starts, and I'm like, oh, it's Vanessa Carlton. Okay. And then all of a sudden the Back in Black vocal starts. And I like started audibly laughing at my desk, and everybody looked around like, what the fuck is going on?
I mean, so probably this audience's surprises, I don't absolutely hate AC/DC, so I think that... yeah, I know. Listen, I'm in no way an apologist, but I mean, Back in Black for me there was some good songs on it. You listen, it's not all great. There's some stupid shit on there, but I think that their voices are really very striking, both vocalists, and I think that it's fun to hear those vocals in a different context. So, what
about you, Sean? Are you more of a mashup person or the collage person?
I'm definitely more of a mashup person.
The one I think mashup or the collage I probably liked the most was probably Annoyed Grunt, which had the Home Improvement theme prevalent throughout. I thought that was, I think a lot of I could tell the tracks that I liked the most had a good combination of songs that I liked individually, and then hearing them all together was, I think, what really made it enjoyable for me. Because I like the Home Improvement theme song because I like that flute. I think it's super goofy. So I was like, yes.
I think my favorite mashup was Led Zeppelin's Stairway to Heaven and TLC's No Scrubs, also known as Busta. I really thought that was amazingly done.
Especially because I don't think he shifted the pitches on that at all.
No, he did.
Did he?
But then when I heard Wall Spin, which is Oasis's Wonderwall with Dead or Alive by Bon Jovi, or Dead or Alive's, I know.
It's You Spin Me Right Around by Dead or Alive, yeah.
That was actually pretty funny. I knew it had to be in there some way. I just wasn't sure what it was going to be. So I just hate being trolled by All-Star all the time. Oh my God. That was so annoying. The more I listened to it, it was like, oh my, okay, there's All-Star. All right, there's All-Star. Okay, this is
back again.
This is getting old now. Like, you've gone through All-Star enough now.
That was actually what I liked about this tape, though, was that you got All-Star, but he made it very clear from the beginning that he was going to use that Bare Naked Ladies song a lot. And so it kind of became this game of like, which one's it going to be? Is it going to be Bare Naked Ladies or Smash Mouth? Because it's going to be one or the other. And it was mostly Bare Naked Ladies this time, which I liked. I'm definitely more of a fan of the mashups. I think they get a better laugh. But the collages can be kind of interesting. I think the collages on this album were just a little bit weaker than they were on the last album.
Well, at least compared to the mashups on this album, at least.
Yeah, because I think of mashups like Furries from the last album, which was like news clips about what furries are over top of Foxy Lady by Jimi Hendrix, with clips from What Does the Fox Say and like all this stuff. Like, that was masterful. And I feel like Annoyed Grunt was like, it was good, but I always knew where it was going. Like, it never surprised me.
For sure. I agree with that.
I like the integration of like commercials and stuff in between tracks. I really appreciate that. I like the
I figured you
repurposing that
probably
stuff.
really enjoyed the 300 megabytes interlude.
Yeah.
It's just like this woman talking about CD-ROMs for 3 minutes.
I don't know. I kind of like that stuff. It's just really funny to listen to that.
Hundreds of filing cabinets worth of paper.
An entire encyclopedia on one disc.
But I mean, Taylor's heard some of the repurposing music that I've done that's not like vaporwave or anything, but where I like try and find more like political propaganda tapes and kind of like, I'll have to publish that. I'll have to send that to you, Tyler.
Yeah, we'll put it in the show notes.
Okay.
You can like throw it up on SoundCloud or something. So were there any of these songs that made you guys uncomfortable? Because some of the people I know get really uncomfortable when they listen to this stuff.
What do you mean by uncomfortable?
Like they listen to it and they're just like, oh, no. They like viscerally react to it.
Yes, most of it.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah.
You were just like, nope.
Pretty much. I mean, I don't want to say that I hated it or I think that it's terrible, but like, does it make me uncomfortable? Yes. It's like that feeling that you have when you know there's like a bug that's like around you, but you can't see it. Like I was just like, oh my God, come on. Just go.
Have you ever listened to one of these before?
Not like the whole one. No.
Oh, okay. That's fair then.
I did listen to Girl Talk for probably like a month straight, so...
Yeah, but Girl Talk is like not meant to be a joke.
Sure.
That's the thing about this. It's more a comedy album than it is a piece of music.
Which, as we all know, is the lowest form of entertainment, of course.
Right. But Tyler, did any of this make you uncomfortable?
Not particularly, actually. I think the only one that maybe just wanted to kind of skip was probably the one where everyone's gonna get on the floor and do the dinosaur. I was just like, I really don't.
It was Walk the Dinosaur Over Dear Prudence.
Yeah, I was just like, this one's not doing it for me. I mean, but it's not really very uncomfortable. But I will say that there people really like to try to like less sophisticated, less talented people like to kind of just slap two songs on top of each other, like taking out the audio of one and putting just like instrumentals on the other, like of like Smash Mouth songs or whatever the fuck. And I typically just don't like those at all because I think they sound dumb because I don't think they actually fit together. So kind of like this more like very specifically like well-crafted remix collage sort of experience. I think it's a little bit.
Yeah, you can tell that a lot of time has been put into this. It's not just something for the memes, for the memes.
See, I kind of feel the opposite way.
I would challenge you then to look around at some more of the music memes that are on SoundCloud.
Yeah, no, I'm sure in terms of music memes that this is probably like really well done, but like I kind of like it in terms of a meme because it's like you could do this stuff pretty simply.
Some of it.
I would argue most of it.
I think there are some moments on this one in particular that show Neil is improving in a way that is hard to notice if you haven't listened to the other two. So a good example is, it's not my favorite track on there, but Wow Wow, which is the one that's all Wild Wild West by Will Smith.
Mm-hmm.
And he's recutting the lyrics to make no sense. And so when you listen to it, it almost sounds like the real song because it's a rap song and there's not really like a whole lot of pitch shifting you have to do because there aren't a lot of pitches.
Mm-hmm.
But he's making Will Smith say these like obnoxious and weird and surreal things like, "You never gonna know where my hand be at," and just like stupid nonsense things that don't make any damn sense.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that takes a lot of skill where you're cutting individual words.
Right. No, I think you're right. It does take time and patience, but I don't think that you like what I like about it. What makes it memeable is that I feel like it's easy to what's the right word? Reappropriate.
Mm-hmm.
Would that be the correct term here? To reappropriate different lyrics, and like you can download like easy DJ mixers and do like tempo match versus songs and all this other stuff.
Oh,
and
yeah.
like, I mean, that's what I mean. I think that the techniques are very simple. What he did definitely took time, definitely takes know-how. As you and I, and I'm sure Tyler has done this as well, audio editing takes a long, tedious, terrible, horrifyingly awful process to do, but it still has that meme quality that made me cringe.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I mean, there's a difference between it. Well, I'm going to probably regret saying this, but just like how there's a difference between a good YouTube poop and a bad YouTube poop. But
no, you're absolutely right, though. You're absolutely right. And this is kind of cut from the same cloth as the YouTube poops, for sure.
But for me, I actually really liked Bustin' because sleeping makes me feel good.
Bustin' was like, if you could call it the lead-off single, it's not really a single, but it was like the thing that everybody knew going into this album.
Oh, yeah?
Bustin' came out like last summer, and there's a music video for it that we'll link to in the show notes, where he cuts the Ghostbusters music video along with his remix to make it look like the guy is actually saying "Bustin' makes me feel good" over and over. And it gets way creepier when he's saying those lyrics in a video. For those who aren't familiar, Bustin' is a remix of the Ghostbusters theme where Neil kind of chops up the beat to make it a little more of a club dance beat, and then he makes all of the lyrics vaguely sexual. Like,
well, I mean,
vaguely.
Not even vaguely.
What are you talking about? It's pretty
explicit. An invisible man sleeping in your bed.
He's busting.
Bustin' makes me feel good.
Right. To quote the lyrics here, bustin', 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 bustin' makes me feel good.
True poetry. True poetry.
It's really not till you read it like that without like any of the music that you genuinely, truly grasp what he's trying to say.
He's blowing it. He's busting this that. He's having a good time.
Leave some subtlety for the audience, man. They can interpret it however they want. It's not.
I think Tiger is the best example of recutting lyrics on this album, because he makes "Eye of the Tiger" all about tigers, and so he says things like, "Just a man and his tiger. So many tigers. It happens to tigers. You trade your passion for tigers. Keep an eye on the tiger's dreams. We must fight for them to survive." Like, he just makes it so nonsensical to the point where it's like, oh, maybe this song is really just all about tigers.
It is. It's just about tigers. He made a song that was about being the figurative eye of the tiger, about
literally tigers.
being the eyes of the tiger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a man, just a tiger.
Mm-hmm.
But that leads into the part of this album we talked earlier about these things making you uncomfortable. And it seems like on every album he has to have one of these big cinematic pieces. On the first album it was Chocolate Rain, where he cuts all the instrumentals out and just multi-layers Taze on Day's vocals to make it like a choir effect, and it's beautiful. Like, genuinely beautiful. And then on the second album, he took the vocal track from B-52's Love Shack and put it over the theme from Psycho, and it makes me physically cringe every time I hear it. This time, it was a track called Time, and it's the vocals from the Village People's YMCA over top of the Time Suite from the Inception score.
Yep.
I was curious to hear what you guys thought of this.
This was fucking good.
This was actually pretty good.
It makes me sad. Like, it feels really kind of heartfelt and, like, I don't know. It just it doesn't feel happy like that song does with its normal instrumental at all.
Well, he did what he wanted. I think that's...
Hans Zimmerman can do anything that he wants, and if he ever did a collab with he couldn't really do it anymore. But if he wanted to do a reimagined Actimate of some kind of, Village People thing and put Leonardo DiCaprio in it, I would be there.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
His music just sounds good under everything.
That's right. That's why he has a class available for Masterclass where you can learn about making a film score. Because sometimes people ask a question and then there's an answer, and sometimes you ask a dodgy question and then ooh. Sorry, that video plays before every single YouTube video, every single time, and I always end up watching it every time.
This episode is not sponsored by Hans Zimmer's Masterclass. Hans Zimmer's Masterclass, something you could probably do with your time. All right, so overall, favorite and least favorite moments of Mouth Moods. What made you laugh? What did you hate?
Greatest one, Led Zeppelin with TLC. Fantastic. Down part, anytime that you had to hear the words All-Star.
I would say that my surprise hit is The End, which is Doobie Brothers and Linkin Park. So when you say that out loud, you're like, wait, that's probably not going to be very good. But it was. And I think AC/DC is probably my favorite, or maybe Smooth.
Yeah, we need to give an honorable mention to Smooth, which is Michael Jackson's Smooth Criminal with Bare Naked Ladies 1 Week and Santana's Smooth. Excuse me, Smooth by Santana featuring Rob Thomas of Matchbox 20. I'm sorry.
Thank you.
I'm sorry.
Thank you.
And then, although it's a very funny joke, I will still stand by the starting line being the most unbearable track of this entire album.
What'd you think?
So I think my favorite moment on the album is one we haven't talked about. It's Stand By Meme, which is Ben E. King's Stand By Me with Bare Naked Ladies 1 Week. As alluded to in the Anthony Fantano review of this album, this works on two different levels. First of all, it sounds amazing. Like, honestly, I played this for my roommate and we both said that if Bare Naked Ladies had released 1 week with this instrumental under it, it still would have been a great song. But secondly, the fact that Neil is playing a pun here and calling it Stand By Meme after he just did a track that was all about Bare Naked Ladies 1 week, and then you just hear the same Bare Naked Ladies vocals all over again on the next track.
Maybe that's why I didn't like that one as much, because I was like, oh, it was a tough follow-up.
Well, that's why he called it Stand By Meme, because it's Stand By Me, but it's also, your everyday Stand By Meme. I thought it was a nice pun. My least favorite, I'm not going to count interludes because I think that Blockbuster was kind of a boring interlude, but my least favorite is actually the last track, Shit. I understand that it's supposed to be a companion piece to Piss, the last song on Mouth Silence, but it just doesn't really do anything for me.
No, not at all.
I feel
There's too much going on.
Yeah, I feel like if it were earlier in the album, it would have been fine, and we could have just ended with the Queen Smash Mouth mix-up, and it would have been a great, satisfying ending. But then we go straight into Seal's Kiss from a Rose, and I'm like, I don't know if we needed to go there. Also, honorable mention to Floorcorn, which is Drowning Pool's Bodies with Hot Butter's Popcorn. Basically, anytime anybody makes a joke about the bodies hitting the floor, I'm pretty satisfied. And this is just that joke made about 100 times in 2.5 minutes. So, were there any songs that you wanted to be in here that didn't make it? Like, Neil's probably going to do another one of these. Is there a song that you want to be in the next one?
Is there a song we don't want to be in the next one?
Or the one that you don't want in there?
Maybe it's All-Star. No. But maybe that is part of the charm, isn't it? Let's see. Has he done Fly Like an Eagle?
Oh, no. He hasn't,
cool.
But that would be a good one.
I think Steve Miller Band is a gold mine that's is just waiting for someone just to use for those sorts of dark purposes.
I really want the vocal track from Fast Car by Tracy Chapman to be used somewhere. I don't really know where, but I just want that to go in there somewhere.
I'd like to see the instrumentals from Hotel California with Billy Corgan singing anything off of Melancholy.
That would be interesting.
And you got a lot going on there with that.
Maybe Tonight at the Hotel California.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah.
Ooh. I like that.
Meow. I've been singing a lot this particular topic. I like it.
Yeah. Alright, Sean gave us a pile of links that I'm assuming are internet garbage. What's going on here, man?
Yeah, that's this last night. I was like, what are we going to talk about on the show this week? Because I haven't contributed anything. Surprise! And I was like, I'm just going to get on Reddit and post a whole bunch of garbage on here. So now we're going to click on our first link, which is, it's entitled, A Cat at a Local Shelter. His name is Edgar. Look at the size of this thing. It is literally a tiger.
Oh, wow. That is a terrifyingly large cat. It's like as large as that woman.
Its feet are as big as mine.
Top comment might actually be two cats wearing an Edgar suit.
That's the truth. On our second internet garbage, entitled Homemade Breakfast Sandwich on r//foods, this is very related to us. As soon as I saw this, I was like, oh my God, I want this in my mouth.
Oh, wow. I'm going to paint you an audio picture, listeners. This is a hamburger bun, and in between it we have slices of cooked potato, a layer of sausage, scrambled eggs that look like it has green onions and some peppers mixed
Definitely
into
cheese.
it, and some cheese, and then probably 4 slices of bacon.
It looks like some maybe like some there's some sort of pork like maybe like sausages.
Yeah, I think there's sausages under the eggs.
Yeah, in between to prevent the potatoes from making the eggs all soppy.
That's exactly what it is.
It better be on a King's Hawaiian bun too.
Oh,
Just
man.
saying. If you want to set up your sandwich game real easy, King's Hawaiian.
That's true.
We're not sponsored by them, but next week we will be.
That's true. So next up we have a GIF. Is that right?
Yes. It is a...
Oh, good Lord.
Look at the...
Nope.
And this reminded me of every time you put food in your mouth and it's way too hot. So to kind of paint what a picture of it, it's this looks like a golden eagle with a snake in its talons, and the snake like wraps around it, and it just freaks this eagle out. And like this sheer surprise on this eagle's face. It's like, what the hell? Yeah. Basically every time.
I hate every part of that. Let's move on.
And the next one.
Why? It's cute.
It's not cute. It's terrifying. I don't want
know
to
that
snake
fucking
like wrapping
eagle doesn't
around
give
my
a
leg.
shit. He's like, fuck off, buddy. But I think it's kind of nice to see like a predator like really like actually like freaked out for a second, because usually they feel so calm and collected. You know, like I'm gonna bite the snake, but he's like, whoa.
The snake almost has him for a second.
Yeah,
Turns around,
almost,
puts his
yeah.
head up. That's what I mean. It's like, that's what I mean. When you eat food that's too hot, you're thinking like, I got this. You put it in your mouth, and then you're like, too hot.
And really, at that point, your day is just fucking ruined, because you know that burnt your mouth.
Right.
You
You're not
better
able to
believe-
taste anything.
And you gotta spit it out, and it's like, and now it's all mushy, and then you're like, Now we can go on.
Okay, so the next one is just an image of a bear and a guy, and
It's a
bear.
comic.
Yeah, it's a comic, but it's about a bear who's about to attack this guy, and then this guy kind of goes through like this moment where he has to remember what to do when he sees a bear, and then he gets a job. Has this sum up any of your experiences in real life?
This feels like the sort of thing that you and Tyler would love.
It is something I think Tyler and I would love.
I don't find it funny, but I'm glad that you guys do. Did it
I
give
mean-
you a chuckle?
Let's just go through the steps here, right? Okay, so there's a guy and a bear, and the guy says, bear attack, what do I do? And then he says, think. Oh, I remember now. And then he says, stand up straight. And then he gives the bear a firm handshake, and then he says, maintain eye contact with the bear. And the bear looks at the guy and gives him finger guns and says, you're hired. And basically, this is a great comic for what life is like every single day because life is a bear, and you got to have a firm handshake with that bear. Don't even give me that face. Viewers who can't see Taylor's face.
I don't know what kind of life you're living.
Question, face right now, where he doesn't he hasn't done his eye twitchy thing yet that he usually does, but he does.
This doesn't make any damn sense.
Face. Nothing that you say here means anything to me.
Let's talk about cement mixer princesses. I don't even want to have this conversation with you. Why are the princesses cement mixers?
I just thought this was hilarious because the princesses of the Disney princesses are cement mixers. So I want to ask you guys, of all the Disney princesses, which one is the most beautiful cement mixer?
Mulan.
Yeah, I think Mulan is the most beautiful cement mixer, for sure.
I gotta go with Mulan too. I do like Pocahontas, close second.
Yeah, Pocahontas is a close second. I have real problems with the physics of Little Mermaid cement mixer. I can't fit this inside my headcanon, and I do not accept it.
What's the worst one?
Little Mermaid for sure.
Maybe. I mean, I think with everything there's bias, but also the Frozen one's just all right.
Yeah, I was gonna say Frozen's probably the worst one for me. It's just awkward.
Yeah, that wig doesn't really work on that cement mixer.
The hair is awkward on it. Did anybody else notice that Pocahontas cement mixer has an ear?
I like that.
Interesting.
I mean, Belle just doesn't even have any hair at all.
Right. It does look like it kind of has cleavage, though, but when you zoom in on it, it's actually just the inner workings of the cement mixer.
This week on the Cement Mixer cast.
What's your mixer?
All right.
Oh, I didn't realize that the beast was actually holding Belle's, sounds terrible, knob.
The thing that turns the cement? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, people can tweet in what their favorite cement mixer princess is. I'm curious to hear which cement mixer you ship. All right, kids, well, that's it for this week's really internet garbage heavy episode of Dude's Brunch. It's time to end the show with some shameless plugs. So, Tyler Reed, if people want to find you online, where can they do that?
Hey, everybody. You can find my design work at tylerdreed.com. You can find me on the socials as TDR Design on Instagram and Twitter. Been stepping my Instagram game up a bit. I've been trying to do daily doodles during the weekdays. I've been just picking random characters or things that I like and just splattering an entire page full of them.
You're making me wish my Instagram game was stronger, not gonna lie.
Well, all it takes is just a few minutes every morning, Taylor.
That's right.
An active Instagram account.
Sean Evans, where can the people find you if they would like to?
You can call me at 1-800-FLOWERS. Feel free to visit me on my socials at sevans891010. I'll be on Twitter. I've been snapping a little bit more of my cat lately, doing cat things, because she's been doing interesting cat things. I put a beard on her this week. Did you see that?
Yeah, that was freaking adorable.
Like father, like cat daughter.
Well, you can find me around the internets as at TC Olmstead. You can also find and like the show. We are at Dude's Brunch all over the place. And that's it. So thanks everybody for listening, and we'll see you next week for more brunch.
Do your best It's Been impression.
It's been.
Oh my god, that's pretty good.
It's been.
It's been.
It's been.
Oh my god, this show just evolved into a series of farts.